happy Christmas Eve. I wanted to talk about a video that I did in Oaxaca, which is actually almost 2 months ago. I'm falling very far behind because I have amassed so much video in Mexico of my ride on the motorcycle throughout Mexico. Anyway, this was about my trip from San Jose del Pacifico to Oaxaca. It was a beautiful ride. I got to see the pyramids while I was there, experience Day of the Dead, and just learn a lot about it. I travel extensively throughout the US and Mexico and have been traveling for the last 6 years. So if you don't know anything about this channel, please follow along, subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions about traveling in Mexico or traveling by motorcycle, RV, camper, whatever. We've done all of that, Jana and I have. And like I said, this is a video about Oaxaca. The first part is about 6 minutes of the ride from San Jose, then a visit to a pyramid, and then Day of the Dead, the celebration of Day of the Dead and what I learned while I was there, and some cool information about a protest. But anyway, hope you enjoy it. Please comment, like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, hit me up. I'm glad to answer anything you need to know about traveling in Mexico.
It really is a beautiful town. I should stay longer, but there's no ATM here, and I did not think to get enough cash. I thought, oh, okay, it's a tourist spot. Surely I can get, money from the ATM or whatever. And very few people are actually accepting credit cards. So this is downtown San Jose. Here on the left is a good place to buy your mushrooms if you're into that. I stayed here, this Restaurant de Montaña, and the rooms were 500 pesos and it was pretty decent. So I would recommend that place. The one across the street, the cheapest room was 800 pesos. And, how much joy am I going to get out of a room? I came to see outside the room, not inside the room, so I'm always looking for the cheapest option. In fact, when I get to Oaxaca, I'm considering a hostel. I've never done a hostel before, so it might be interesting to check out a hostel. Anyway, that was San Jose del Pacifico. Oh, cool. Another cool little village. Down to one bar. I'm not on Empty yet, which apparently I get like 50 miles. And I looked it up yesterday, and I think it was 31 kilometers to a Pemex. So with what I have, I should make it. If not, I don't think it's that big of a deal because I have another 1.3 gallons strapped to my boxes. Oh wow, that looks cool. Nice. To me it's nice. I guess some people would probably think that this is squalor, but I love seeing these little mountain towns, and I don't know. Munching on the side of the road. Wow. Oh my God, the smell. The wildflowers. It was really strong there. Awesome. I guess the road to Oaxaca is paved in absolute beauty. At least if you appreciate it. Yeah, earlier I met 4 guys on BMW adventure bikes, but they were leaving before me. I would have loved to have rode with them. I wanted to go get a picture of that place E2. I think I would have been better served by riding with them. Only one of them spoke English, but they were headed to the same place I am. Snazzy bikes they had too. They were all dressed out in their gear and had you know, panniers and the whole bit. So I don't know exactly what the adventure bike culture is in Mexico. I guess I need to get a little connected to it to find out. Okay, I'm back on track. I was quite lost there for a little bit. I hadn't run a map and I was just kind of driving aimlessly through the city. But on track now, got another 2 hours to go. I'm going somewhere to the center of Oaxaca. I'm going to check out a hostel. It says it's a youth hostel. I don't know what that means, but anyway, try that out. Never done it before. Well, no, I did it one time on a trip I did to New York, and that wasn't the greatest experience, but this one, from the pictures and stuff that were on Google Maps, seemed to be pretty interesting, like activities and things for people to do together. So, I mean, if it sucks, then the worst that can happen is I'll go get a different room. Well, I'm definitely in the city now. Oh man, I've already gone through several detours. There's road construction everywhere, and crazy drivers. I like the peace and quiet of the smaller towns, but this should be fun while I'm here. I'm here longer than I would like to be, I guess. Probably 6 to 8 days. But I did notice some signs about pyramids, so while I'm in the area, I will take some time and see if I can find some cool pyramids to go explore. Decided to go check out the pyramid up on top of the mountain above Oaxaca called Monte Alban. It looks like there's several pyramids there. I'm gonna go check that out. But look at this, just beautiful view of the city. Aside from the smog, just pay no attention to the smog or the trash that I seen on the way up here. But you know, that's what are you gonna do about that? Anyway, let's go check out Monte Alban. So I just arrived at Monte Alban, and behind me, that's the entrance area where you can go and pay your 85 pesos to come in and see this stuff. But as soon as you enter the trail, you got this, and then looks like the very first structure, and we'll see what else is around. This is another good example of one civilization building on top of another. This is the lower structure was built in 100 BC, and then the upper structure around 350 AD, or post 350 AD. So there you go. Wow, it looks like this. So it appears that this place is kind of a central mountain to this whole valley, and has a really great view of all around. So I guess that's why they built it. Cool, a little courtyard. Wow, amazing you have access to this. I know in the US, if we were to go to something like this, there's no way we'd be able to touch it or climb it or anything. I tell if that's like a reconstruction or not, because if you look at the backside, it's a little eroded, and I do see some right in there that looks like modern concrete, so I'm sure that is probably a reconstruction. So
this very well may be a reconstruction as well. Maybe I should go read the placard. Very awesome. It's actually in a lot better condition than I expected. This is way larger than I expected. Wow. Very beautiful. All right, so in my walk around this place, I ran into a guy who was selling trinkets, and he was somewhat of a historian about this site, and he said there were two different groups that were actually occupying this. You have the group from 100 BC to 350 AD, and then the other group that was 500 AD to 800 AD. The Zapoteca was the first group, and then the second group was the Mixteco. And a lot of the placards, actually all of the placards, are written in either Spanish, English, and Mixteco. Anyway, one of the indigenous dialects is actually in writing on all the placards to explain, the different things about the site. So I'm up on top of the highest point in the whole site right now, and yeah, it's definitely worth coming to see. I didn't expect it to be this big, and I'm really quite impressed with what I'm seeing. And talking to the guy who was a quasi-historian, I found that there are similarities again that you would see in the other Mesoamerican sites around with this whole 52-year cycle. So very interesting. This is Monte Alban in Oaxaca, Mexico. And of course the ever important soccer field. You find these at all of the pyramid sites. Some of them have multiple. Like Oaxaca, I think they had about 10 different soccer fields. So Oaxaca must have been where the soccer championships were held. I don't know. But this one is very well cared for. They do a lot of grooming around. Well, that's a wrap on Monte Alban. Take a quick look at the ride down. I think the ride down will be better anyway, because you'll get to see how it overlooks the city, which is kind of cool. And it is a nice twisty, windy road on the way down, and who doesn't love a twisty, windy road on a motorcycle? What do you know? Oh, okay. Trying to keep track of where I'm going. Arrived in Oaxaca, and already there's a marching band.
but that mask just fits him perfect. Still partying. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's day 4 or 5. I don't know. I was just down there a minute ago grabbing a beer, and I noticed that there was some sort of a protest going on, and I want to go back, get a little bit of footage of it. It's not the kind of protest you might think. In fact, so here we are 2 days after Day of the Dead, and apparently this is the day of protest. Earlier today I went to go get my oil change for my motorcycle at the Yamaha shop, and there was this huge protest. It was just hundreds of students or something making some sort of a protest, and I couldn't get to the Yamaha shop. I finally got there, but then I come down to the Zocalo, and there's some other form of protest going on. And check this out. I don't know what it's all about, but I'm fixing to go ask the guys in the trash trucks. Here is a protest. So it's just mounds of trash, and this is not, I mean, it's after Day of the Dead, so this has nothing to do with Day of the Dead. They literally just dumped this here and put a political sign on it, and that's what this is about. And there's another site on the other side of the Zocalo that's basically the same thing. So here's the other pile of trash, and then a big line of trash trucks, including this one, which looks like it's the one that may have dumped the trash. I don't know what it's about. Let me ask. So apparently it's not quite as bad as I thought. It's not like an argument over pay or anything like that. It is that the trucks are over full and they have nowhere to put it. So they're protesting about that, and apparently they'll be here as many days as it takes until their requests are met. But that's what it's about. Not enough room in the trucks, so therefore the workers are overworked because there's no space. They have to make multiple trips or whatever to get it. So they're trying to get more trucks. Well, Day of the Dead is dead and gone here in Oaxaca, Mexico. And it was a pretty good time, but I learned a lot of things. Just some of the traditions and stuff that I had no idea about, like the orange flowers, why they have those, and it's supposed to be the fragrance of that flower the dead can smell, and that's what I guess attracts them to the house of their loved ones. But I was also told that there's a Chinese version of this flower that does not have that smell, so it doesn't work. So you have to be careful. You can't buy the Chinese flowers, or the dead won't come to visit you. It was pretty cool. I've seen some of the altars, and basically it's just like the things that their loved one liked or were attracted to, whatever, the foods and whatever it was that they would have missed. That's what would be on their altars, and also pecans and peanuts for some reason. And there were altars set up all over town, just on the town square. I've seen them at people's houses, and
outside the houses. There's petals from these flowers and stuff just laying along the curbs. Kind of like a trail of breadcrumbs leading their loved one back to the house. And it is that time again to get back on the road. So it's time to say adios to Oaxaca, and I'm heading to Tlamacas, which is not really a town. It's kind of a little village on the west slope of Popocatépetl, an active volcano near Mexico City. Anyway, my time has been great here in Oaxaca. The Day of the Dead was pretty exciting. Learned a lot about it. Got to see the pyramids and had a great time. And on the way out of town, there's just this beautiful view of the city. A little smoggy, but nonetheless beautiful. It's time to get on the road, and hopefully we see some beautiful sights from between here and that massive volcano.